If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I'm all about how we think, where we came from, why we do what we do, the things that drive us, right? Um, Systems thinking, how other systems react with other systems, and, being aware and empathetic. But that's beside the point. What I want to talk about is milestones, right? There are milestones that we need to surpass to get to a point. I would say that the previous milestone was the whole gender identity, which was a needed milestone we needed to get to the point that we could just allow people to be who they wanted to be. You don't have to mark checkboxes off anymore. You don't have to make excuses for the person that you are. Be authentically the person that you are, right? And I think that now we're more okay with gender neutrality, right? I personally don't believe in gender, but that's not what this video is about. That's just about a milestone, having to get to a point in order to continue, right? And leaving behind the old. And if you think of the history of humanity, it's all about fallacy and struggle and ego and pride and ambition and assimilation and greed, right? Fighting over resources, clashes of one civilization against another civilization, loss of knowledge, right? Because we don't think about those things. But anyways, right? There were certain things debatably that we needed to do to get to where we are now. The issue now is that we have been so conditioned that we need to be a certain way, and we don't need to be that way anymore. We have the technology, we have the knowledge, we have the science that we could end global problems if, if everybody, if we focused on, trash recycling programs and things like that, right? We could literally end all the problems. I don't believe in such a thing as finite resources, right? Because what is waste? Waste is just a word for something that we don't know how to turn it into something else, right? A prime example is styrofoam. We thought styrofoam was a waste, can't be recycled. Turns out earthworms can eat styrofoam and produce soil. Our bodily wastes, animal bodily wastes, can feed trees. Everything of earth feeds earth. Earth produces and earth feeds. When we die, we turn to dust. Everything is just based off of magic dust, right? But what I want to talk about right now is that we're at a bigger milestone. And this is going to sound fringe if you're still with me. We need to get out of our own way. There's really only 3 possibilities from this milestone. 1, we progress. 2, we self-annihilate. Or 3, we do enough damage, a large percentage of the population dies, and it's another reset. I say another because I believe that there was a reset a long time ago. Archaeology, like I said, fringe, right? Or the first, right? But either we self-annihilate, we progress, or we reset. That means that we get reduced to a small population and we start over again, and we lose all the progress that we have made. I really do believe that we are at that milestone now, on the border of World War III and Civil War and polluting the oceans and plastic, and it's people who are for green alternatives are disappearing. I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole, right? But yeah, we need to get out of our own way, and that requires healing and setting our differences aside and realizing our folly as human beings, our flaws. If you think that you're the best version of yourself, maybe presently, but you're not the best potential version of yourself. And some people believe that they can't get any better or they can't change. Yes, you can. You can get better and you can change. It is a way of life. That's what enlightenment is. Enlightenment isn't you attain enlightenment and that's it. No, it's a path. And when you fall off, you get back on. It's about discipline. It's about self-awareness. It's about understanding the things that you say, whether you realize it or not, impact other people. It's about nurturing growth in others. But just know that I really do believe we're at a milestone. And I know it sounds crazy. I think about a lot of crazy things, right? I think about how we can fix the system, but that's one thing that I'm almost certain is true.